Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this special video, we're going to be going over a 64-team playoff if college football enacted the same playoff. This is going to be the part 1. We're going to go over the selection show, selecting all 64 participants in the 64-team playoff. It's going to be the same rules applied as basketball as it is to football. All winners of the conference championship will be automatic bid. Without further ado, let's get right into it, guys. With the #1 overall seed in the South region, we're going to go with the Alabama Crimson Tide, SEC champion. They are 12-1. They will face Davidson, the 16 seed, at 8-2, the winners of the Pioneer Conference. The winner of that game will face Arizona State at the 8 seed, 8-4 out of the Pac-12. Will face Miami, the 75 at the ACC. Going down the list, guys, Wisconsin will be the 4 seed going into this. I forgot to mention, all top 4 seeds in each region will get a home playoff game for the first round and the second round if they advance. So Alabama and Wisconsin will host first round and the second round games in this region. Wisconsin will face Nevada in the first round out of the Mountain West at 8-4. Going down as well, the 5th seed will be BYU at 10-3. They will face the 12 seed West Virginia Mountaineers out of the Big 12. On the other side of the bracket in the South, the #2 seed will be the Utah Utes. Pac-12 champion, beat Oregon twice down the stretch, very much so, 79-30, I think combined score was. They will face the Dartmouth, 9-1 out of the Ivy League conference champ there, so that'll be a pretty interesting matchup in the first round. The winner of that game will face the winner of this game. It's #7 Iowa State out of the Big 12, 7-5, very underachieving team this year. They will face Auburn, 6-6 team, another underachieving team. Auburn Tigers, 6-6 out of the SEC. Notre Dame will be the final team to get a home game in the first 2 rounds. They get the 3 seed. They will face Villanova, the winners of the Colonial. They had a tie with James Madison, but head-to-head, they beat them, so they will get an automatic bid. They will face Notre Dame in the first round. NC State gets the 6th seed, 9-3. They ended Clemson's undefeated streak. They will face Maryland out of the Big 12, 6-6. So that'll be a pretty decent matchup there, the 6-11 matchup in the South region. Here are the top 4 seeds. As I said, top 4 seeds get an automatic home game for the first 2 rounds. Alabama the 1, Utah the 2, Notre Dame the 3, and Wisconsin the 4. We head over to the Midwest region, where the 1 seed in this will be the Michigan Wolverines. Out of the Big 10, the Big 10 champion, 12-1. They will face Sacred Heart out of the Northeast. So, 1-6 team, Michigan and Sacred Heart. Michigan will host the home game in the first 2 rounds. Mississippi State gets the 8 seed, very underrated team, 7-5. They will play UCLA Bruins out of the Pac-12, 8-4. Another very underrated team out of the Pac-12 at 8-4 as well. Oregon, the 4 seed, gets a home game first 2 rounds. Even though they suffered against Utah, they still did enough in the whole regular season, beating Ohio State to get a top 4 seed. They will face Northern Illinois, the winners of the MAC, one of the most underrated preseason long shots to win their conference. They get the 13 seed, automatic bid. Clemson gets the 5 seed in this region, 9-3. Very lackluster year for Clemson standards, but they still get a decent seed. They will play Fresno State, another 9-3 team out of the Mountain West. Going down the region, Oklahoma State gets the 2 seed at 11-2. Was inches away from winning their conference, but still gets a top 4 overall seed, or top 2 seed. They will face Eastern Tennessee State out of the SoCon at 10-1, 7-1 in conference. That'll be a pretty decent matchup as well. Minnesota gets the 7th seed out of the Big 10, 8-4. Pretty above average Big 10 team. They get much recognition. They will play San Diego State, the losers of the Mountain West Championship game. Still a pretty good season for the Aztecs. Michigan State gets the final top 4 seed for this region at the 3 seed. They're 10-2, Big 10. They will face Sacramento State out of the Big Sky Conference. Texas A&M gets a 6 seed, 8-4. They beat Alabama, but they still had some decent losses that dropped them this far. They will play the Houston Cougars, who lost week 1 and then won 11 straight before falling to Cincinnati in the conference title game. They have a chance to upset A&M over there in College Station. So here's your overview of the Midwest. Michigan at the 1 seed, Oklahoma State the 2, Michigan State the 3 seeded, Oregon rounds it out at the 4 seed. Moving to the East region, Georgia gets the #1 seed of this one. Losers of the SEC championship game, but they did enough to earn a top 4 seed overall. They will face Jackson State out of the SWAC, Deion Sanders' team. Penn State gets the 8th seed at 7-5. Another lackluster team that underachieved this year. They will face Oregon State Ducks, another 7-5 team, kind of an average in the Pac-12. Oklahoma gets the 4th seed in this one. They had a lackluster season for their standards. They will face SMU, 8-4, the 13th seed in the first round. Very high-scoring offense, average defense, so there should be a lot of points in this one. Kentucky gets a 5 seed at 9-3. They will face Appalachian State, the runners-up in the Sun Belt, 10-2. Having double-digit wins for each of the last 5 years. Very, very good Sun Belt team. I have to look out for this one for a potential 5-12 upset. Going down the bottom side of the East, Ohio State gets a number 2 seed after finishing 10-2. Only losses to Oregon and Michigan, so they have 2 pretty decent losses. They will face Tennessee Martin out of the Ohio Valley Conference. North Dakota State is the highest seeded FCS team in this tournament, coming in at 7th seed. They actually get a home seed at 10-1 out of the Missouri Valley. They will face Utah State, the winners of the Mountain West, at 10-3. So that should be a pretty interesting matchup. See if North Dakota State can win and face the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee Martin. Ole Miss gets the 3 seed in this region, 10-2. They will face Sam Houston State out of the WAC conference. So again, a lot of points in that one. Sam Houston State's undefeated. Ole Miss has a really good offense as well. Purdue gets the 6th seed, 8-4. Another very under-the-radar team in the Big Ten. They will face Washington State at 75 from the Pac-12. So there's the East region. Georgia gets the 1 seed. Ohio State gets the 2. Ole Miss with the 3. And Oklahoma rounds it out with the 4 seed. Finally, we go to the West region. Who gets the final number 1 seed? It is the Baylor Bears at 11-2. So Cincinnati drops possibly to the 2, maybe the 3 seed. We'll have to see. Baylor Bears of the Big 12 championship win over Oklahoma State gets the 4th 1 seed. They will face Holy Cross out of the Patriot League. Tennessee at 7-5 gets the 8th seed, and Louisiana, the Sun Belt champions, at 12-1 gets the 9th seed. That will travel on the road to Tennessee. Pittsburgh, the ACC champion, 11-2. They get a home game the first 2 rounds. They will face Air Force, the 9-3. Another overachieving Mountain West team that deserves to be in here. Arkansas gets a 5 seed, one of the most surprising teams of the season. Had a very tough strength of schedule, but still managed to get the 8 wins. They will face another 8-4 team, UCF, out of the American. Going down the West, Cincinnati gets the 2 seed, as I said before. Baylor got the 1 seed, so Cincinnati probably gets, most definitely gets the 2 seed. At 13-0 American League champions, they will face Kennesaw State out of the Big South. Kansas State at 75, above average team that just didn't have enough big wins, but still was a really good team. They will face the number 10 seed UTSA out of Conference USA. Undoubtedly the best season in school history by far. 12 wins against very lackluster teams, but we'll have to see if they can pull the upset over Kansas State. Iowa gets the final home top 4 seed. They lost to Michigan in the Big Ten championship game, but they still do enough in the regular season to get a 3 seed. They will face Incarnate Word out of the Southland Conference. Wake Forest, the losers of the ACC championship game at 10-3. They get a decent seed at 6. And finally, the last team in the 64-team playoff will be the LSU Tigers. They did enough playing in the SEC West to earn with their strength of schedule to get into this 64-team playoff. So here is the West region. Baylor gets the 1, Cincinnati gets the 2, Iowa gets the 3, and Pittsburgh gets the 4. Now the teams that did not make it, Boise State, Texas Tech, you see South Carolina and Florida and Missouri. UNC was a surprising team. They had a bad loss. And Coastal Carolina, even at 10-2, they had the weakest strength of schedule. You see there to the bottom left, 138th ranking strength of schedule. So their 2 losses were a lot more weighted than any of these other teams' 6 losses. So, all right, that is part 1, guys. Next part, we're going to go over each and every game of the 64-team playoff, and we will crown a national champion in this bracket. Hope you enjoy. See you next time, guys. Bye.